Hi, I wanted to talk a little bit about couple therapy. And my passion is really helping people figure out where they are in their relationships, whether it's trying to figure out how to get the magic back, strengthen their relationships, or whether it's helping people really decide what's going on in my relationship that's not working and finding ways to work with some of the chronic patterns, some of the unhappiness, and try to find a way to have that. I think what everybody really wants in relationships is that breath of fresh air where you get to feel good about yourself and you get to feel good about the people that you love. So I notice a lot of times when I'm working with people in couples relationship is we get to sort of a crescendo, and I work with couples, giving them a lot of tools, having them go out and try these tools. And they're trying these tools up against their chronic pattern. And some of the tools that I use that I think apply to everybody is to have empathy for their partner, to also understand that when they're getting triggered, that's information for them. That's something that's happening in their world. That's something that probably happened to them many times before. And to really understand the trigger and start doing some of their own self soothing and their own boundary setting and communicating with their partner what they need, even if the partner is unable to give it. Even the partner that's unable to give it that's completely fine as long as that partner really understands that that's what is making that person suffer. It's not them. It's not being upset or mad with them. It's they're getting triggered something deep within them, and the partner is just mimicking that trigger. And it's a deep hurt. So, really empathizing with that hurt. There's another huge tool that I give my couple of clients and clients in general, which is the gift of apology. A lot of people say things like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry about that. But the only way that we can receive an apology is if the person understands why they're saying it, that they understand what they did that hurt us, or they understand what they did that made us feel upset with them. So a lot of times people walk around saying, oh, that person is always upset with me. Instead of taking responsibility for like what was their behavior towards that person that's upset with them, what happened in that interaction? Because usually when people don't take responsibility for their own behavior and how someone might be affected by it, then it's hard to repair. So I notice after giving these tools to couples that sometimes we reach a crescendo and they can't seem to break out of it. They keep doing the same thing over and over again. And when that happens, I start looking at, okay, what's the stressors around them that need to be worked on differently? Because sometimes there's outside stressors, whether it's finances, jobs too taxing, people work too much. There's kids that have demands and different parenting styles, or step kids that one of the partners doesn't have a lot of control over, but those kids really affect the couple relationship. So then I look at what are the stressors. I really believe, and I really like people to hear this idea that a relationship is built on two people's identity in the relationship. It's like a creation. It's like a baby, right? It's like it's something that you create together. It's a part of each of you. And sometimes that relationship, that being that you created, can only handle so much stress. And then it breaks. It can't handle much more. And I always heed that warning, like there's too much stress in your relationship, and it's your relationship is reacting to the stress. So I ask people to really identify how they're going to work on the stress topics or issues that are coming up in their relationship. And some of those are working on your own individual response to stress or reaction to stress. So couple relationships are complicated, right? We all have such a complicated layering ourselves, and then we put that together with someone else. And when we have years with a person, there's so much other things that come into place, like mind reading, interpreting something that they're doing, and they don't mean that, but we think that. And there's a lot of things to break down. And I see couples therapy as something that people do when they're in crisis. They come when they're in crisis and they leave when their symptoms have been relieved. But oftentimes they give up if their symptoms have not been relieved. And another pointer that I want to give you about couples therapy is it's really important that you find the right person, because usually when the couple is in crisis, they're really fragile. The relationship is really fragile, and it's really influenced by the opinion of others because both parties feel pretty bad about themselves at that time. So make sure that you keep reinstating your goal to whoever you're working with, that if it is, we want to stay together. We know we're having a challenging time, but we want to stay together. And to make sure that that clinician or coach is supporting your goal. And if one person is feeling like they're not sure about that, they really need to do their own therapy work with someone who is actually holding on to their goal as well, like not talking them into ending the relationship, but really challenging them on what their goal is. If their goal is to stay together with that person, to really look on how that individual can maybe mature, grow, develop new coping mechanisms, work on their family of origin issues. So, wishing you, if you're seeking couples therapy, to really find healing with your partner and really find healing with yourself, because our relationships that we have with other people and the investment that we make in our relationships is a big one. It's a gift to be in a good relationship, and it's a gift to have partnership and companionship. And it also takes work and energy to keep it going and to keep it healthy.